Trig-free college, area of a triangle formula. In triangle ABC, A equals 6, B equals 8, and sine C equals 1/4. Find the area of triangle ABC. The area formula for this stuff is on our reference sheet. So if you have your reference sheet, you could take that out, but I'm going to pull it up on here anyways for you, which is okay if you don't have it. And this top formula on the reference sheet, top left, that's your area of a triangle. It's K equals 1/2 AB sine C. So I'm going to write that down here. K equals 1/2 AB sine C. And now, don't get too caught up on the AB sine C. It could also be 1/2 AC sine B, or it could be 1/2 BC sine A, or maybe you don't even have letters A, B, and C on your triangle. Basically, you have two sides and the other angle. The angle included, that we call it, or between them. So if you have a triangle here, these have sides of 6 and 8. That would be 6 and 8. The angle I'm working with is between them. And that makes sense, because if this is side, A, for example, that would make this angle A. And if this is side B, that would make this angle B. And so this would have to be angle C and side C. But it's all about having two angles and the side between them. So I'm sorry, I said that completely opposite. Two sides and the angle between them. So if I have a triangle like this, where say I have 11 and 5 and this angle is 32 degrees, I can't do area of a triangle from this. You can only do area of a triangle if you have the angle between them. So I would need an angle measurement here, like 44 degrees, not using the 32. And I can do area of a triangle with that now. Okay, but let's get back to this particular problem. So AB sine C, AC sine B, BC sine A, doesn't really matter. It's two sides and the angle between them. So for this problem, those sides are 6, 8, and sine C is 1/4. That's basically it for this problem. 6 times 8 times a fourth. Well, 8 times a fourth is 8 divided by 4 is 2. 6 times 2 is 12. You can certainly do that in your calculator if you'd like. One distinction to note here is, notice that they're giving us sine C, not angle C. A lot of times they will go back and forth with this. So if they gave me angle C is 50 degrees, then I would be doing sine 50 here. But because they gave me the ratio of sine, that's just what I plug in. So note that that could be a little bit different. Like in this next example, I'm going to write down the formula again. 1/2 side times another side times, did I do half over here? I forgot the half here, didn't I? Half, that's going to make that 6. I'm sorry. Half times 6 times 8 times 4th. Over here, 1/2 times A times B times sine C. But half times a side times another side times sine of the angle between. So in this case, if we were to draw this picture here, triangle ABC, notice that they gave me side A is 12 across from angle A, side B is 8 across from angle B, and they're giving me angle C is 30. They're not giving me sine C, they're giving me angle C. And so you need to be careful with that. So it's going to be half times your side, 12 times your other side, 8 times sine 30. So if they give you the angle, it's sine of the angle. If they give you sine, it's just the ratio they give you. So don't get too confused. Like, you shouldn't be doing sine 1/4 here. It's just the fourth, because that's what sine is. And it shouldn't just be 30 here. It's sine 30. So it can get a little confusing. And so that's 1/2 times 12 times 8, and sine 30 is 1/2. So we're looking at 6 times 4 is 24. Again, that can be really just type. You can just type this into your calculator and you'll get that. It works out well because sine 30 is 1/2. Sine of an angle isn't always 1/2. Like in this next problem, the angle is 120, and notice that the key word in radical form. So RST, here are my two sides. Here's my included angle. So K equals 1/2 8 times 10 times, now it's not 120 because it's an angle, it's sine 120. And that's 1/2 times 8 times 10. Now what is sine 120? And that's where you want to be careful, because if I type this whole thing at once, I'm going to get some decimal, not a radical. When you see radical in the answer, you want to figure out what this is first. And so what is sine 120? So let's check it out. Sine 120, 120, is 0.866. We definitely recognize that as radical 3 divided by 2. Put these over ones, multiply across the top, across the bottom. Let's see, we can simplify some stuff here, though. 1/2 times 8, that's going to be 4. I can simplify the 10 divided by 2 is 5. So I'm looking at 4 times 5 times rad 3 is going to equal 20 radical 3. Now I could have typed this whole thing into my calculator and got a decimal and then matched it with 20 rad 3. That's certainly an option. But that decimal is not going to get you the answer. It's only going to help you with the answer. Now, see how I simplified here? You could just multiply across the top. 1 times 8 times 10 times rad 3 would be 80 radical 3. And then 2 times 1 times 1 times 2 would be 4. And then simplify the 80 over 4 to be the 20 rad 3 right there. So you could do it either way. But this is a standard problem. There's really a couple ways it could go. It could be where they give you the ratio of sine, where you just plug in the number, and it's just numbers multiplied. Or they could give you angle C, where you can just simplify it. But if it ends up being something like rad 3 over 2 or rad 2 over 2, there's a good chance they're going to want it to stay in that radical form, and you may have to do the algebra kind of manually instead of with a calculator. And then finally, the last way one of these problems could go is they could give you the area. So the area of a triangle is 100 and ask for a piece. So K equals 1/2 AB sine C. So they're saying the area is 100. And so that equals 1/2 of a side times sine of an angle. C equals 20. Okay. Angle A is 30, so that's the angle I'm using. So sine 30. And then what is B? Well, B is just B for now. And simplify. 100 equals 1/2 times sine 20, sine 30. Sine 30 is 1/2. And so the 1/2 times 20 is 10, times 1/2 is 5. So 100 equals 5B. Divide 5. Divide 5. B equals 20. And so that's our answer there. So sometimes they'll give you the area and have you find a piece of the formula over here. Okay, that's it for area of a triangle, and we'll experiment with that tomorrow.